That's a lot more. I'm going to wait till you guys get online. We did a pop-up Facebook Live today. We don't normally do a Facebook Live. We do our platform. So I said, you know what? Let me do a Facebook Live today to settle some disputes. I don't know. Or just to say hi. Islam, Pax et Tamor. So I'm going to wait for a couple of people to jump on. I'm going to share it. Let me see if I can share it. I don't know if I can. I don't want to invite anybody. I just want to share it. How the heck do you share? I don't know how. They changed stuff so much. Let me see. I'm trying to share it, you guys. Give me a second. I don't think I can. You can bring a guest on. You can invite people. I don't really want to do all of that. Don't feel like it. Or you can change rotations, post a comment. But I cannot share. I think this is interesting that I cannot share this. anyway, Morris, Islam. What do you want to talk about, Tahir? He's like, I'm not on the video. It's you, Yeshrin. Islam Morris. It's just a public announcement on some things. It's not formal. Obviously, because there's a lot of background. So there's not formal. It's just the desk of Yeshua and Akasha El Rose Bay. I guess I'll call it that. Here at the government, the standing government, which is the Moorish National Republic, Federal Government, Northeast Amexem Territories and Dominions. Articles of organization for validation as to us being a standing, sovereign, theocratic government for the people, by the people, of the people. The information can be validated on the website. The website is www. Currently, it's going to change, but right now it's www.moorishamericanconsulate.org. www.moorishamericanconsulate.org is the website for declaring nationality, completing your trust, and completing all of the tiers to gain knowledge of self, as well as to complete your status change, as well as to learn how to live allodially and through your estate instead of other people being the administrators on your behalf because you don't have the competencies to run your own estate. Islam. Everybody know me as popularly as Sharon Tracy Gale Bay, but I've officially made that change in my appellation to Yeshua and Akasha El Rose Bay. So that is my title and that is my appellation. Islam, because we don't have names, we are not corpse. Only corpse have names. Islam. So there's some formalities that I kind of want to talk about as it relates to when you are thinking of nationality. When you're thinking about how to declare and proclaim your nationality, Morris, on the website, on the grid page, under Tier 1, there is a video on how to complete the first grid, which is Grid 1 nationality. I encourage Moors to read that, as well as I encourage Moors to watch the video foremost, and then complete the documents for name change, for changing your status in the records. We just had a class on Sunday down in near the corporate territory, Neptune, New Jersey. We had an in-class session down there at a local business as it relates to nationality. Islam? So what I want to kind of talk about is nationality. We were supposed to have a class on Saturday at 1 o'clock, but we had a big event on Saturday, so we could not have the class, which would have been Tier 2, completing the trust. And the trust is broken up into 3 sections. I don't want to kind of use up this time. I kind of wanted to just come out here and kind of talk to you guys as one of the supreme judiciaries of the government, the Moorish National Republic, Federal Government, Northeast Amexem Territories and Dominions, a standing, unincorporated, sovereign government of the people, by the people, for the people. Islam. The website has all of the articles of organization up there, as well as the validation as to what it is that I am saying. And more, you have to get into the habit of validating the status of organizations And the only way you're going to validate the status of an organization is asking them, I need a copy of your articles of organization. And we got to get into the habit of knowing how to vet an organization claiming to declare and proclaim nationality for Moors, right? Because if you are a 501c3 or an incorporated entity, you cannot nationalize people. You can't do it. And why can't you do it? Because you are under, as a resident or property of the United States of America, which is a corporation, you're property of them. And that is a violation of the Constitution for the United States of America, where in no so-called franchisee of or so attached and registered to the United States Service Corporation can give titles, grant titles of nobility. So anybody claiming to be an incorporated entity with a fictitious name through its articles of organization is going to express that in the articles of organization. So if they don't have an article of organization, or if they are incorporated, because normally when you do an incorporation, you're supposed to do an article of organization to operate lawfully through the so-called Secretary of State, through that notification, right? So when we do these things, we need to make sure we're vetting people. So when you are so-called naturalizing, because all you can do is naturalize within an organization that is incorporated and registered to, so attached as a franchisee agent of the United States of America, you're not getting nationalized that way. You are doing the same thing that you're trying to get out of, which is the so-called service corporations in the particular counties that you domicile near from, what's the word I'm looking for? Being the administrator of your trust, which is the all caps name of your birth name, right? So I was born Sharon Tracy Gale in proper English. That's with the first letter of each of the name being capitalized and the rest being lowercase. That was the name my mom, the true name my mom gave me at birth. My mom gave me that gave me that name at birth, and then she, because there was no operating sovereign nation or government operating that she was aware of at that particular time, so she did the birth certificate and social security card through the county. And when she did the birth certificate and social security card, like everybody else through the county, that gave them ownership, not necessarily ownership, but authority as administrators and trustees over our estate. Islam. And you can validate everything that I'm saying by just pulling out the birth certificate that you get from the so-called state and looking at that. Now, when you look at the birth certificate, it's telling you the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, for instance, Department of Health, vital records, right? And when you think about vital, what does vital mean? Does anybody know what the word vital means? Got to look that up. Not going to do it here because this is not necessarily a class. This is just a public notification as it relates to Moors. Because we're getting a lot of calls where Moors are doing specific things, specific processes with different Moorish organizations, and those organizations are incorporated and so attached as franchisees, agents of the United States of America Incorporated. And because of that alignment, they cannot grant titles of nobility. Therefore, they cannot do nationality. You're not getting nationalized if you're going through an organization that has not done its due diligence and proper notified the Secretary of States within the state you domicile near, because you don't live in those states. Those states are only corporate names, fictitious names, because they all incorporated at a specific time, right? Every last one of them. Every last one of them at a particular time incorporated, and when they incorporated, they lost their sovereignty, and now they're under contract, however they so align themselves. Islam? So what else did I want to kind of talk to you about? And I do want to talk about the Delarium. Okay. Now, when we talk about money, and there's a class that I'm going to upload on the website. I'm going to upload the class on the website. It's a class that Valera Bay had created back in the early 2000s, and it's called What is Currency? And because Moors are operating at a deficit, we don't know what currency is. We know money is a medium of exchange, but currency and money are not necessarily one and the same thing. And we need to know the difference between the two of them. Okay, so money is a medium of exchange. currency is lawful currency. Lawful currency is silver coin pursuant to the Constitution for the United States of America. And we need to know that, right? I was like, so when we talk about Delarium, when we talk about a medium of exchange, well, it has to be an acceptable medium of exchange. Leading Moors back into slavery, that's what they're doing. Absolutely, they're doing that. But understand, Moors have a due diligence and have a responsibility for themselves to learn and gain knowledge before they start operating and activating and doing things, right? I was like, so there's a lot of Moorish organizations out there that are saying certain things and they're doing certain things and they're violating you. But who violated you first? You did by not knowing. So even though they are wrong for the things that they're doing, but they owe their allegiance to a foreign municipality based on how they identified, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're following the contract, if they are following the contract, as how they align themselves, right? I was like, so I'm looking at money now as money order. Yes, like when we think, like I said, I'm going to post that link to that class. I did download it, but I'm gonna post it. It's called What is Currency? And it is by Valera Bay. She did a long time ago with a bunch of other videos to get more grounded in some fundamentals of the things that they need to know as it relates to currency. And as because when we talk about currency, when we talk about different things, there's different levels to this. And she does it the best way. I would never have to duplicate anything because she did a great job when she did her class as it relates to what is currency and what is money and what money is not. So when we talk about Delarium, because there's Moors that are sending us Delarium paper, right? It's paper. Just like a Federal Reserve note is paper, but a Federal Reserve note was sanctioned and was you got to watch the video. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. I'm just going to post it on the social platforms, and I'm going to post it on the website so you'll have access to what is currency, right? And what paper is not. Paper is not currency. Federal Reserve notes is not currency. The Delarium is not currency. There's nothing backing it, right? And when we sit here and put a new form of currency out there, we have to notify individuals. But before we can notify individuals, we have to operate as a sovereign government. We got to operate as a sovereign government, and we got to organize ourselves and create those articles of organization. And as of right now, I know no other Moorish organization who has done that. The articles of organization operating as a sovereign theocratic government, not incorporated, and who sent it up to be apostille, whereas though it stands as law in all of the so-called 50 corporate states, because they're not geographical, territorial, they're only fictitious entities because they incorporated. And on their own website, they tell you they incorporated. They let you know that, oh, we incorporated in 1776 or in 1838, right? How did they incorporate is the better question everybody needs to ask themselves. How did all of these so-called states incorporate? They're incorporated under the United States, y'all.
Who's texting if I'm right here?
And it's on all of their websites. We got to learn how to read, and we got to learn how to discern information and vet organizations claiming to nationalize. Because I'm tired of seeing Moors send us paperwork that we have to deny because it was done in improper English, lowercase lettering, and it's done. And then when you read the documents, they didn't read it. Like there was one Moor that sent me a copy of his documents, and they don't even know what they're doing because they're listening to other people. And there's so many Moors that are just popping up. Oh, here we're a sovereign. I mean, no, we're a Moorish organization doing nationalities, and they're doing it under the so-called guise of the Moorish American Consulate. Well, the Moorish American Consulate is so authorized through a government, right? So as you establish, when the Moorish American Consulate was first established, it was called the Restoration for Consular Courts. It was originally called the Restoration for Consular Courts. But since that establishment, Moorish American Consulate, you can't take it and think that just because one person says, oh, we're under the consulate, we're under a Moorish American Consulate, that they're attached to us here on the Northeast. We are not so attached to any Moorish organization that is not commissioned by our judiciary members, which are on the which is on the website under the Articles of Organization, letting you know who we are, who we've commissioned on the website. The website also has a consul lookup feature database, where though you can find out all the consuls that have been commissioned under us to nationalize. We're doing this to protect the people, and so you have information to validate who is who and what is what. People are telling you right in your face exactly how they are organized and structured by the names that they've chosen for their organizations. So if they haven't done an article of organization, they're not an organized body politic, because you need to notify, right? Because if you watch the video, like I said, I'm going to post it. I wish I could post it on in the grid here, but like I said, I'm going to post it on my platform, and then I'm going to post it on the website, the Moorish American Consulate.org. And because of the confusion, everybody thinks that they're with us, so they automatically have a trust within these Moorish organizations that are claiming to be Moorish American consulates. We have a Moorish American consulate. I was one of the original judiciary members of the Northeast of the Moorish American consulate. We separated ourselves out from among the other judiciary members, particularly because of the lowercase red lettering process that they were doing. When you guys read the consul notification and access, not consul notification and access, when you read the consul commissioning documents, our consuls are not allowed to do things off the hip, especially if there's no supporting law backing and validating any change. And just because you want to vote a change, that change got to be in harmony with law. And it shouldn't even be coming down to a vote if it's not in harmony with law, right? Lowercase red lettering, the Dolarium, none of that is positive law, y'all. And even though we know we are the heirs, we are the Moors, we are the authorized representatives, the official owners, the responsible parties, we have to fix the sin our mothers put us in, right? So if we have not done the first grid, the first tier in the grid, if you haven't done the nationality on the private side by a commissioned consul who was commissioned by a government who has an article of organization as to validate their presentment. So they can present what they want, but they need to validate that presentment, right? And we got to stop just listening and just following people and not knowing what we're doing, right? Nobody should be doing that. You have to gain knowledge. So you got to slow down more, and you got to sit in front of your computer, or you got to sit in front of your laptop, or you got to go to the library, or you got to do whatever it is that you got to do, but you got to gain that knowledge, right? Because if you don't understand contract law, if you don't understand trust law, if you don't understand the Constitution, then you're not going to understand why you're doing the name change decree on the public side. You're not going to understand that the nationality is on the private side, right? You didn't even realize that you had no status and standing in government because we were identifying as Negro, colored, Black, African American, Puerto Rican, white. Because if that title doesn't belong to you, that's a fraud as well.
U.S. citizen.
U.S. citizen, because the United States corporation, it's a corporation. The United States of America is a corporation. Pursuant to what title, Tahir? It's in the title.
Title 28.
Title 28, subsection.
USC subsection 3002.
3002.
Section 15A.
Section 15A. And then Fatima, Judiciary member Fatima, found something the other day that was awesome. It just further validates what we already know. And the crazy part about it is a lot of the things that we know, we don't even have to debate. We're not going to debate with you. If you're still stuck in the Felicia pile, or if you're still stuck in the sand pile trying to figure things out, we're not going to argue with you, and we're not going to debate with you. Because there are those Moors that are going to do the things that they need to do because they're active. I know a Moor who literally just came to us maybe, 2 weeks ago, and now that Moabitess, that woman, that Stargate is on her way to send off her 10 locations, as well as go right to the county to do her name change decree. Because once you know, and you do. Because if you don't do, how the hell do you know? You can't claim to know and you're not doing. You gotta do. Because if you don't do and you claim to know, do you really know? I have these questions, right? I was like, so, okay, why'd you say USAR? I don't know why you said that, but I'm going to clarify, because I do get Moors that contact us from who went to them and they gave them bad information, which caused them to do other things. Now, if a Moorish organization claiming to be a government because they got a charter, overstand, you don't need permission as sovereigns to do anything on your land. Only an individual who is outside of sovereignty, meaning they are not born, they're not bloodline tied to this earth like Moors are, have to get charters. Because charters is what? It's permission. You don't have to get permission. The USAR is chartered by the corporation, Indiana? Is it Indiana? They got their charter from the state of Indiana, which makes them incorporated, which makes them not able or allowed through the Constitution to grant titles of nobility because they are a franchisee of the United States of America. And Moors, you would know that by gaining the knowledge and watching the classes that we tell y'all to watch and doing the things that we tell y'all to do. Tomorrow night we have a class. It's going to be on Dred Scott. We're going to stay there. We're going to stay there till y'all get it in your head. Because apparently it hasn't clicked for a lot of you that the status is the issue, right? And you got to fix it on the private side as you identify in your community as well as on the public side, because you got to fix the sin your mother put you in when she gave administrative trusteeship over your estate to the county you domicile near through the birth certificate and the Social Security. That's law. That's fact. Ain't no debate. I don't debate. If you got information that can challenge what information I have, present it in harmony and love. And we will make the adjustments that we need to make. But we read over here. When I say read, I mean interpret and comprehend the things that we're doing. Islam? Like, so USAR cannot nationalize anybody. Incorporated Moorish Science Temples of America cannot nationalize anybody. No organization that is incorporated can nationalize because it's a violation of the Constitution they are franchised to because of how they identified and registered themselves. And that registration was based on information that was done back in the past. Of course, they have the right to create documents such as driver's licenses and birth certificates because we're talking about a corporation. Because the USAR is a corporation because of their charter. And I don't got to tell you this. Like I said, I don't debate. What was the Moor who did the video? He did a 2-hour video with USAR. What was his name? I don't really like saying this appellation, but he did a video. I'm gonna go find it and I'm gonna post it for y'all. Where he told y'all what they were.
It's all lawful.
It's all lawful. It's illegal, not lawful. Correct your spelling. Correct your language. Legally, he can naturalize. That's what he legally can do. But the only thing he can do is create citizens for what? The state that chartered him. And overstand that state that chartered him, he is subject to their statutes, codes, ordinances, and whatever those things are. And I'm not going to keep talking about that because I made my point.
Because it's under them federal zones. Congress passed legislation. Because
you don't need a driver's license. Do you need a driver's license? Are we still stuck there? Are we still stuck at the part that you don't need a driver's license? Because you're not driving. You're traveling. Who's driving? Okay, Dean, if this is not the platform for you, kindly and respectfully move off the platform. Upstairs. Because I ain't debating with ignorant sons. I'm just not doing it. Because this is for the people who want to elevate, the Moors who want to do the things the right way. And we gotta accept the fact that most people are used to following sons. Used to that. That's fine. That's the way you want to go. Keep going that way. I don't have no issues with how you want to identify yourself. It's your choice. Bad choice.
Yeah, it's feeling.
But it's your choice.
Yeah, his
and I don't care how you feel. I care about what you know. Because what you know will change how you feel. Because once you start knowing some things, you're not going to come on a platform and try to defend the undefendable. Because you can't defend it.
Without a source of reference either.
You can't defend it. I can look it up right on the right. I can look it up without even trying to think hard and provide the proof for you. But you got to learn how to do the things for yourself. Because if he was incorporated,
that makes you
and chartered,
that makes you
through
a citizen.
Indiana. He says Indiana, right? You can go right to the Secretary of State and find that out. How he was chartered and what he was chartered to do. Because the charter is going to tell you what you can and can't do. And since we're talking about charters, let's talk about the charter for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and the charter for New Jersey. Okay? Let's talk about that. That what is currency is going to tell you. A charter is what? Do we know what that is? It's permission. But it's among that others, because only people who don't have sovereignty have to ask someone else who they appear or think has sovereignty for permission to do, for permission to act. We as Moors, we hand out decrees and affidavit of facts and instructuses, but we do that in harmony with law and writs, right? We put that out there on the public notifications and we do it competently. Because there's so many Moors coming to us, crying on the phone, angry, pissed off. And when Prophet Noble Drew Ali said, I came to get you out your ignorance, he was being truthful. I came to get you to love instead of hate. He was being truthful. Because if we don't accept the fact that we can't stand each other, I love you, so that's why I'm doing this. I love you. It don't matter how you feel about me at all. Because I'm going to do what needs to be done, period. Because it's over. It's already over for us over here on the Northeast. Okay? But a charter. Because when we talk about a land patent, or let's just call it a deed, because that's what it is. Because it wasn't a patent for land. But that's what they call it. But that's not what it was. It was a deed for a corporation.
That's right.
To do business upon the land, not access or title to land. Because can we give access and title to land? We can't give nobody any land. We cannot give land away.
It can't be sold.
It can't be bought, sold. Go ahead.
Can't be bought, sold, or bartered, just like your nationality can't.
Islam. You can just stop defending yourself. That's it. You're not going to defend yourself because you're used to not knowing. That's on you, Moors. But us Moors that don't make excuses, we'll be in our feelings for a couple of minutes, but we come out of it and we get the work done. Because don't get it twisted, I get in my feelings. I am completely and utterly hurt by our people. The condition of our people, the way we treat each other, the competencies of our people. I'm completely and utterly distraught. I want you to know that.
Now, I'm going to read charter.
Or I'm going to switch it over to you.
Black's Law, Revised 4th Edition.
Okay.
Black's Law, Revised 4th Edition, and Black Law, 4th Pocket Edition. So we're going to go to Black's Law, Revised 4th Edition, page 298. Charter 9, or noun, or the verb. In mercantile law, to hire or lease a vessel for a voyage. Thus, a charter is distinguished from a seeking ship. This is the noun, charter, an instrument emanating from the sovereign power in the nature of a grant, either to the whole nation, or to a class or portion of the people, or to a colony or dependency, and assuring to them certain rights, liberties, or powers. Such was the Great Charter or Magna Charta, and such also were the charters granted to certain of the English colonies in America.
I want to interject.
We wouldn't have to keep going.
Islam. We don't. And I want to interject because somebody actually said something. They said the zodiac, I know that's what you meant, is a charter. No, it's not.
No, it's not. The
Zodiac Constitution is a charter. You just answered the question in your own statement. I'm just telling you this. Zodiac Constitution.
It's the Great Seal Zodiac.
It's a constitution. It is an agreement. It is not a charter. A charter is exactly what he just read. Permission. A Zodiac Constitution is an agreement amongst Moors.
Let's go.
Who so attach themselves to that. Islam.
Fourth pocket edition. So
fourth pocket edition for
Black's Law Dictionary. Fourth pocket edition. So they'll get the just.
What Constitution?
Charter.
You be getting close. You zoom in too far. Can't get you. You gotta back up.
To establish or grant by charter. Charter a bank. 2. To hire or rent for temporary use. Charter a boat. To hire or rent for temporary use.
Islam.
Okay.
I mean, the reality is the only reasons why Moors keep getting violated is because they violate themselves. You're violating yourself by your status.
They don't read it.
Overstand? Without a status and standing in society, government, or community, you are a black person, and a black person isn't talking about skin complexion. It's talking about you are devoid of status. That's what it is. You're at a legal disability. So the whole world right now is trying to act like they own something or they can use something, and they're only at a legal disability. You're literally a tenant. You're literally a tenant. Let's say that. So even if you got a mortgage or a tenant, because I mean, if you think you own your house and you got a mortgage is what? A dead pledge.
A deed is what?
A deed is
only something that's tied to the residential number.
Exactly. A deed is tied to the residential number. And when we talk about residential number, we're talking about the so-called address. That is a fictitious entity.
Still a thing identified.
It is a corporate address. So when you're talking about land, always latitude, longitude, always latitude, longitude. Movies is trying to tell you that all the time. When they go from one section to the land to the next section of the land, what do they use? They don't use the U.S. corporate address. They use the latitude, longitude coordinates, because that is talking about land. That U.S. corporate address is talking about an entity identified, and it's owned by the USPS Corps, which is under the USA, right?
The way they come up with the numbers is they punch in the latitude and longitude of the address.
It comes right up.
And it comes right up.
You put the latitude and longitude on your documents, and then you put in kill brackets that U.S. so-called address, because that is not identifying the land. It's identifying the fixture upon the land. It's how it's identified in their system.
In the federal zone.
In the federal zone. Islam. Right? So Fatima found something a couple of days ago. It was yesterday, a couple of days ago, and it blew my mind, and I had to redirect, because, like I'm saying, we're doing 20 things at once, to include nationalizing Moors, right? Because we can do that. We are mother. Governments start from mother. If you don't understand that, you're out of alignment with nature.
That's right.
And because you're out of line with nature, you're not going to get what we're saying, because you're in controversy with the fact that you all come from women. And because you come from women, you are therefore subject to women. The land goes from mother to daughter to daughter to daughter to daughter. It doesn't go through son. And there's a reason for that. And a very good one. When we think about earth, the whole earth is a womb.
Well, let's look up land.
And it's mother. There you go. Look up land.
Okay.
They sit here and try to say territory. Territory denotes to land. Land can only be sovereign.
So we're in Black's Law Dictionary again, revised 4th edition. Land. Page 1019. Land. in the most general sense, comprehends any ground, soil, or earth whatsoever, as fields, meadows, pastures, woods, moors, waters, marshes, furze, and heath.
He said moors, y'all. What did that say? That really told you everything in one sentence. It said the land is the moors.
And you got Moors talking about charters.
You don't need no charter.
Need a charter.
All you got to start is being yourself and operating in your sovereignty. That's it. And if you don't know how to do that, the Northeast is here to teach you how to do that. Which is why we have the classes. Which is why that website is out there. Which is why all this information is easily accessible without you paying all this fiat for, because all that stuff's on the website. All of it's on the website. And you ain't got to pay to get on the website to get it. It's there. As your mother, as your sister, as your daughter, it's my responsibility to assist. And that's and those Moors who are doing their corporate responsibility, they're under allegiance to a foreign municipality because they incorporated.
Well, we're not asking.
And why did they do that?
Drop birth certificate and social security number either. We're not asking for all that.
Why are the sons trying to get you mothers to incorporate in your children? Why are they doing that? Because their mothers incorporated them. Their mothers left them defenseless because they didn't teach them how to operate in this world, and they only left them slavery. Now, some people want to say, well, I mean, and I'm going to say it too. I can't blame the mothers, but I mean, it is their fault, but we can't sit here and ignore the reality that mother did put you in sin. She didn't know. Ignorance does not stop you from going to jail, doesn't stop you from dying, doesn't stop you from doing all of these things, getting these vaccinations. It doesn't stop any of that happening. What stops it is your activity and you gaining knowledge of self and doing what you need to do and not using anything as an excuse. All I say is fix the sin your mother put you in if she's not willing to fix it. If she's not capable because she is scared, because she is ignorant, it is what it is. You love her nonetheless. But you got to fix it. Fix it for her as her son. Because the son is the first line of defense. But if she's creating all of these heirs and leaving them defenseless to defend themselves, then who can fix it? You can. You can fix it. You're the authorized representative of that name. That estate, it's yours. You just got to claim it, but you got to do it competently. And you got to slow down and do it in order, proper order. And we know what the proper order is because we've been vetting this information because we've been active doing it. So when we talk about land is Moor, it said the land is the Moor. That is your nationality. So does your tribal affiliation come before your Moorish nationality? No. That's your family name. And family is just because that's what you're used to me saying. It's your clan name. Mm-hmm. It's how your clan is identified through your mother and her mother and her mother. But you're Moors because it's the Moroccan Empire, not the Wakanda Empire or the Wichita Empire. And when you read land, it don't say nothing about Wichita. It don't say nothing about Chickasaw. Or all the thousands of other Indian titles.
But as Moors, you're the natural heirs to the land, specifically natural heirs to the land. You got to say natural heirs, not just heirs, the natural heirs to the land. Right? Because that's by consanguinity.
Islam. Mom left us a remedy. We were lost. We're found now. It says it right in the dictionary what land is. Who owns the land? It don't say Caucasians. It don't say Albions. It don't even say Indians.
Sure don't.
It says Moors. So somebody was looking out for us in these dictionaries. Somebody was looking out for us in these laws that's been passed. And the crazy part about it wasn't you. And it wasn't me. It was our ancestors who figured this stuff out. And we watched a movie yesterday. It was called The Harder They Fall.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It was called The Harder They Fall. It was about the true Indians, which was the Moors, which were the cowboys, not the Indians. Right? And it's showing you the feuding that was going on between rivaling counties. And what was they doing? They were stealing fiat, right? And we're talking about after the Tale of Tears. We're talking about after 1865 and, the emancipation of so-called slaves. Wait a minute, what was the basis, the time frame of that movie? Because the movie was really good because it showed you the infighting amongst indigenous clans. And how the Albions, they ain't really had to do nothing because we killed each other off. That movie just showed you how we killed each other off because at the end of that movie, Aegis was dead. Everybody was dead. Which left that community what? Salvageable by Albions. They just wait for us because that's what we did before they even got those so-called grants. Why did they get the grants? The charters. What was the charters? To come over here and do business. Those charters were to come over here and do business. Colonies. Those were colonies. Colonies are companies. Chartered by who? King George II did both of those charters, right?
King Charles II.
He did charter for Jersey. He did charter for Pennsylvania, right?
Yes, and New York.
And New York. Pull the charters, y'all. What does the charter say? Does anybody have a copy of the charter right now? For all of those so-called companies. Companies. They were deeds. They were deeds. They were charters. They were not land patents. But they're listed as land patents. But that's not what they are. So what am I saying? I'm saying a lot. What am I saying, Morris? Tier 1. Name change decree.
Get her done.
Nationality on the private side. You'll be on the database. You're not going to get on the database if you did your documents through other organizations and they did them wrong. Right? Because when we read your documents, we're reading them for accuracy. We're looking at who's autographing them. If they ain't got a Bay or a L or a Al or a Ali or a Day at the end of their appellation, that is not a proper witness. And some of you are trying to sign or autograph where a consul signs. Well, that's a violation. That's fraud. Why is that fraud? Because you're not consul. Contrary to what individuals tell you, you have to do things the right way. And there is an administrative process and a notification procedure to get it done.
They're still in criminal status until the actual vizier autographs.
Absolutely. A vizier from a standing government who has articles of organization that are not incorporated can only autograph your documents and only can commission. Because what the heck does commission mean? When we talk about consul commissioning, which is why we had every level of security that we put on the website is because of all of these Moorish organizations and all of these sons going out here doing all these Facebook lives and these YouTube lives trying to get people like y'all love following sons. Sons been trying to get you free for 500 years and they ain't done it yet. And y'all still following them. And I'm not here to attack you. And I'm not here to make you feel some sort of way. But do not deny the matriarchal energy. Do not deny how governments are structured and run because nature doesn't support a liar. You come from your mom. Your mom laid down the law. Your mom makes all the rules. She made all the rules that you were subject to before you even came out the Stargate. And then when you came out the Stargate, she continued to put you in criminal status. And if she didn't take you out, you had to take you out. Right? Why you think sons are always with so many different women? Because you're orphans. And you're looking for a new mother. I'm just going to say it. You can be mad at me all you want. I really don't care. I'm a Sag. Keep saying that.
Let them be in their feelings.
United States of America was never a sovereign nation. Okay, did I just say enough?
Oh, it tells you that.
Oh.
In Article 1, Section 9, Clause 10
Oh, you gotta
of
get
the
to
Organic
it.
Constitution
You gotta
of the
go
United
get
States
it.
of America.
You gotta get it and read it. Get it and read it.
Article 1, Section 9, Clause 10.
The United States of America was never a sovereign nation. Okay, so now going back to USAR, they claim to be chartered by a sovereign nation who is not that, because the state of Indiana is incorporated in a franchisee of the United States of America Incorporated. Did I just prove my point?
How you gonna get delegation order of authority from a daggone
corporation? A corpse who your ancestors gave permission. I'm saying this, we're on this platform because I'm tired of getting emails and calls in a panic, and now I got to degress. I got to degress because I just got all this energy. Now I got to give it away or go run outside. It's too cold to run or bike.
Okay, let's read. I'm going to go into Article 1, Section 9, Clause 8.
Article 1, Section 9, Clause 8 of the Organic Constitution
for the United States of America.
Judiciary.
Republic. And Article 1, Section 10, Clause 1.
Islam.
Because
and share this video. Please share it right now so more Moors can, because this is a treat, y'all. This is us giving you a treat. We've been planning to give you this treat for a couple of days now. And we've just been busy. Yeah, but go ahead,
it
Tahir.
Addresses title of nobility with reference on who can and cannot use it. Article 1, Section 9, Clause 8 says, no title of nobility shall be granted by the United States, and no person holding any office or profit or trust under them shall, without the consent of the Congress, accept of any present emolument, office, or title of any kind whatsoever from any king, prince, or foreign state. Article 1, Section 10, Clause 1. No state shall enter into any treaty, alliance, or confederation, grant letters of marque and reprisal, coin money, emit bills of credit, make anything but gold and silver coin a tender in payment of debts, pass any bill of attainder, ex post facto law, or law impairing the obligations of contracts, or grant any title of nobility. Only the Moors can do that.
Only the Moors. In their sovereign
Coming
capacity.
from the matriarchs.
Coming from the matriarch,
Mother.
because that's who creates you, right? And she gives you, so she creates you, she manifests you, and then she gives you a name.
All we have to do is enforce the law.
That's it.
Right? And determine our political status. Because you've been in error all these years on the public side. You have to make that private side reflect the public side. Come at a criminal status. Because criminal law comes from civil law, and civil law comes from ecclesiastical law. Shout out to Kemetu Bey.
Islam. And shout out to Justice Fatima, who's on, as well as Justice James. Hi, James, or Consul James. Islam. My correction. So Islam to you guys for being on this platform. Please share this in the groups, the 2 groups that we have and we operate out there. But let me finish this reading. The United States of America was never a sovereign nation, and only a sovereign can grant anything, right? Only a sovereign can do that. So when we talk about a sovereign, now the sovereign, King George, did what? King George gave what? He gave a charter. So he gave permission to William Penn. And Duke of York. And I don't know who was down in, was Duke of New York that did New York. So apparently he did New York and Jersey. Yeah. Okay. So Duke of New York did Jersey. Because at one point this was all one, right? Other than the Delaware so-called Indians, Delaware Moors, if you want to call them that.
Lenape Moors,
right? We talk about tribal clan names, right?
111.
It's 111? Islam. 111, y'all. It's 111. So those were grants of charter. So the king gave them authority, commission to come to our lands to do business. And when they came, guess who they had to contract with?
Moors.
The indigenous population, which was the Moors, who they identified under the code word Indian, right? So they had to go to the Lenape clan, William Penn, with these so-called fake treaties that are out there. Because if you're not a holder in due course, meaning if you don't have the original document that's signed, autographed by someone, you don't have a document. You don't have a contract. You have to have that valid contract in your hands with the wet ink signature of those parties to that contract. Am I correct? That's part of how to exist within contract.
In contract law.
In contract law, just I mean, it's everywhere. I'm being honest with y'all. Because our Moors are taking advantage of Moors is ignorance. Right? We're ignorant. And because we were in a state of savagery, let's call it that. Because it is savagery, because a savage is somebody who's outside the law. So you're a savage. All you black, Negro, colored, African American people.
At a legal disability.
And you're identified as a savage, which is salvageable, which is where that word comes from.
How can idiots make contracts?
And idiots can't make contracts. Dummies can't make contracts. And we talk about idiots and dummies lawfully, legally. That's why when I'll be in the movie, Asiatic woman. In the movie, what is it called? The Harder They Fall. Asiatic woman, dressed up to the nine, went to an Albion community. She went to an Albion community to open up to withdraw from a bank account. And the Albion knew damn well, you was in the wrong community because we only got Albions here. And she freaking laughed at her. And I was like, yo, that Albion is gangster. But the reason she did that is because she had all those Albion sons doing their job. Protecting their mother. What are our sons doing? Violating theirs. They violating their mothers. They violating their children. They violating their consorts, which y'all think are wives and girlfriends and all that. Violating them. All day long. Violation of Article 25 of the Constitution. And we talking about our Constitution, which is on the website under the Articles of Organization, along with the Declaration of Trust. Already there, validated, apostilled. It's not about us having videos seeing how many people got views. I don't care about the views. I just care about the Moors that want to be free, the Moors that want to live lowly off their estate, the Moors that want to take care of their heirs, the Moors that want to do right by their people in each other, in themselves. That's what I care about. All of the other ones sitting there violating each other, I don't care about you. I love you, but you're not my focus. You're going to automatically be roped into declaring government nationality, because that's part of the Constitution as well. Because the Constitution, if you read it, says everybody who is not declared and proclaimed with a MAC number and in the database to this standing government, which is the only one that I, as of right now, know of. Because we declare it, we put it out there, we notify everybody. This is public notifications. Notice the agent is notice the principal. Anybody who doesn't have a nationality is automatically a Moorish subject ipso jure. You're protected automatically. You're not using that status. So even if you're scared to do your nationality or you don't know where to go, you're a Moorish subject ipso jure. You're protected by the law, but you got to know it in order to defend it or stand on it, right? Because a Moor contacted me. He was like, yo, I got pulled over the other day, and the Albion that pulled me over, I always assume that's an Albion, but the Albion that pulled me over asked me, what did he ask him? I forgot what he asked. He was like, oh, your inspection, your registration on your vehicle is bad. So I asked you guys this to see who here is competent. What law that policy enforcer, which is chartered to do business based on that commercial agreement, the Constitution for the United States of America, he just violated that Moor. And that Moor didn't know what to say. I ask you, post in the chat how he was violated. Because that so-called Albion thought he was going to get a charge, right? He was going to charge this Moorish estate with a violation of a code, right? But he had to find out if he was subject or not. And that's where the action, license, registration, proof of insurance, or do you know why I pulled you over? That's usually the first two things they ask you. Do you know why I pulled you over? Or license, registration, and proof of insurance. They're going to ask you license, registration, proof of insurance for the simple fact that they don't know why they pulled you over, really. They're making it up as they go. profiling to see, based on the type of vehicle that's being driven, who's behind the wheel. They usually mess with our sons. Right? Fatima answered it, but she wasn't supposed to. It was one of you Moors was supposed to answer that question. Yes, you are a Moor, but you're also a judiciary member. You know this stuff. To be a judiciary member, you got to have some competencies, right? So you're supposed to already know that. Oh, look at Zamira's here. Islam Zamira.
Here too.
Johanna, Islam Johanna. I missed you guys. Islam. I'm hot, y'all. This bonnet is burning me up. I just want y'all to know that one and this one. So they're not allowed to run your plates. That's a violation of what amendment? You have those amendments were established to protect the people, okay, from violations, right? So you can't sit here and search and siege unless you got a warrant by a competent court of law and court of record. None of which the counties out there, because they're all incorporated. Every last one. Incorporated. Why are they incorporated? Because they incorporated under that so-called state, right? They all agreed. They're all the General Assembly. That's what the General Assembly is of every so-called corporate state. They're all members of the county. I'm just going to say this, y'all. County came first.
Absolutely.
County came before the state, y'all.
Absolutely.
Okay? So the counties and the states are not necessarily together, but kind of.
Overstanding
cahoots, though, right?
Overstanding counties or the kingdoms.
Right? I was like, so we don't do these classes because we be so busy. Like right now, I'm busy. I got phone calls to make, a lot of phone calls to make, emails to send, faxes to send, things to do. But I came on this platform because I'm tired of y'all getting bamboozled because y'all ain't trying to read. We have classes every Tuesday at 7 p.m. on free conference call platform. You got to get the code through a Moor who's already on the class, or you got to send an email. Or you got to send an email for the code. Because we don't just put that out there because too many Albions like to kind of intercept our platforms. Trolling our platforms.
Don't want us to put that truth out there.
Don't want us to put the truth out there because then, the money, the finances that they receive, which is nothing, because Federal Reserve notes is what? It's a receipt. That's all it is. It's a receipt. Right? And then if you watch that, what is currency class, you'll understand why that Federal Reserve Act actually even be established, because the banks were stealing the gold from the people. The banks were stealing the gold from the people, so the banks don't have no gold, so you can't go to the banks to get no gold because it was seized from them back in 1933. Was that it?
Yeah, 33.
It was seized from the banks because the banks were stealing it from the people. Because the people forgot that the so-called little slips that they had in their hands was receipts for what the banks was holding for them, which was their gold and silver, which was actual lawful money. So the Federal Reserve Act was established because they're the only ones holding the gold. Or access to it, let's say. Right? So what did I just say? Negotiable instruments. House Joint Resolution 192. There are so many things we can say. So many things we can say. Right? And when we get a win, so-called win in court, is that a win? No, it's not a win. So why are y'all sitting here acting like we in the boxing ring or we on the court? Like y'all want to make everything a game. Because y'all so used to paying Monopoly. It's not a game. They never had authority unless you gave it to them. You gave them authority, then they
did what they did.
Charged you. And then you only got discharged once you satisfied either the contract or the feudal fee charged. That's what it just charge is. So when a dismissal happens, that's just saying I don't have the authority to even hear this case. That's all that is. It's not a win. It's you claiming your estate and not letting someone put you in a fraudulent contract or induce you to fraud. So let's get out of the egos. Let's get out of the arrogance. Let's unite the way we were supposed to do back then, which is why we lost our estates and we ended up being Negro colored and blacks because the Albions boxed us out of the whole commerce game. Because the only people that was left, I ain't gonna say it out loud. We're the little cowards. I'm just gonna say it. I say it. Because all the ride or dies shot each other up. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. I mean, if you can't, you gotta laugh at this. If you ain't gonna laugh, you're gonna be crying all day. Just be happy your eyes are open and you are no longer lost. But watch our movies. Watch The Harder They Fall, because that was a true depiction of the past. And now, because they have lost ownership or authorization to operate our states on our behalf, because we completely terminated that, and we're going to do some other terminations later that you'll be aware of, because we'll do a notification on this public platform to get you aware of it. And if it's not going to be on this platform, guess where you will be able to find it? On the government website. But like I said, you have to vet Moorish organizations claiming to be anything by their articles of organization. What does articles of organization mean? The name's self-explanatory. How they have structured their organization. Whether they incorporated it, whether they chartered it through incorporation, getting permission, because a lot of people are doing it that way because they think it's easier. No, it's not. It's easier because you just didn't do anything. Right? Chartering our own banks. Are we chartering them? Or are we just establishing them?
The sales.
Are we doing that? You don't want this?
No, it's not my job.
Anyway, so let me finish reading this, because I keep stopping because I'm getting hot. I want to take that off. The United States of America was never a sovereign nation, so no so-called franchisee under that can give you a charter that is going to put you in any good, comfortable position. Let me just say that.
Make you fight for civil rights.
Civil rights. How the hell you fighting for civil rights? That don't even make sense. If he's civil, right? He's shaking, right? The United States of America was never a sovereign nation, just a business association. Articles of organization. They have articles of organization. You forgot what's the articles of organization of the United States of America? Does anybody know what the name of that document is? Mm-hmm. Just ask. Do you know? It's land-based states that are separate sovereign nations. So what did that say? It's land-based states that are separate sovereign nations. You want to explain that, Fati? Mm-mm. No, she doesn't want to explain that. It's land-based states that are separate sovereign nations.
So, land-based states that are separate sovereign nations. Articles of organization. Mm-hmm. All right.
And the federal United States comprises of 57, it looks like. Mm-hmm. And I know exactly what that means. 57 states. Do y'all know what the 57 states are? Can one person say yes?
Insular possession.
And no, none of y'all be on the free conference call platform on at 7 p.m. on Tuesdays. None of y'all. And then y'all want to call us crying. And then when we find out what y'all did, we be like, you know what, Fatima got to get me off the phone. She always takes the phone from me. So y'all at one point could be talking to both of us and don't know who you talking to. But you should know, because I'm the cocky one. She's more like mother. I'm more like stern ass mother. I'm more like mommy dearest, but I don't beat you with hangers. She might though.
Shut the hell up.
I know. What these wire hangers? She beat her butt on TV, yo. And that chick was handicapped too. She was disabled. She was a mean lady.
They keep incorporating.
Anyway, so nobody answered that. Okay. The 50 federal states plus the federal territories and possessions. Do y'all know what the 7 federal territories and possessions are? Can you name them?
Can I answer that?
Yes, please, because I'll
give him some help.
Go ahead.
You got the District of Columbia.
First one you should everybody should know that one.
U.S. Virgin Islands, Commonwealth of Puerto Rico, American Samoa, Northern Mariana Islands, Then there's a couple of them.
There's a couple of. I think it's Samoa. Wait a minute. Guam is one.
Guam is one. Yeah, Guam.
Yeah, he said
Yeah.
Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Right.
Commonwealth. I
Why-
gave you the full name. Commonwealth.
Right. He did give
Puerto
the
Rico,
full name.
U.S. Virgin.
What is? Here's the question. What? Why are those 7 not states? Why are they not states? And why are they part of the federal territory? And why are the 50 not part of the federal states? Different jurisdictions. If you watch movies, like if you're really paying attention to movies, what is the biggest issue when so-called policy enforcers, FBI, CIA, constables, or U.S. Marshals? You got all these different so-called fake agencies. I'm just gonna put the fake in front of the agencies. All trying to claim jurisdiction.
They fall under the Act of 1871.
Yeah, incorporated.
Yep.
They ain't got no offices.
Federal zones up under the Vatican.
So if it's in a federal territory, it's automatically under the feds. If it's in the so-called state, it falls under the sheriff, who always defers because he's a coward to the police departments, even though he's over them. He's the only office because he's an elected person.
And the judge impersonators.
And the judge
They
impersonators.
take bribes.
He's actually above them too.
Yep.
But he acting like he don't know that, even though he pledges his allegiance and his oaths to know that, right? Do people get competency tests before they take offices? They should. Don't you think so? They should be required to know these things. Why are they not? Because they're co-conspirators and frauds.
That's it.
Right? Incorporated, trying to claim to be a government. You ain't no government. You ain't even a country.
And their seats are sold off to the highest bidder.
Highest bidder. Why you think now when you go to these so-called government buildings, why you think now all of a sudden you got Chinese people in there, Hindustanians working there? I'll be honest, y'all about to be booted out. Y'all don't even see it coming because y'all want to get y'all Moorish subject ipso your paperwork because you scared. It's 21 silver pieces. 21 silver pieces for more subject ipso jur status correction. That is for anybody who doesn't have the bloodline birthright of an Albion. I said an Albion.
Do you have any more of those tablets?
A more.
The teething ones to help him with his pain.
Right?
You hear him crying up there?
Yeah.
He keeps saying, ow.
Ow.
In 1967, a citizen of the United States this is what they said in 1967. Civilly dead entity. Y'all still want to be a United States citizen? Y'all still want to make those claims because the so-called conversos or the mercenaries that are styled as attorneys and so-called judges and so-called administrative people are all frauds?
That's what they're doing business as.
They're doing business as that. That's just a business name. It's not a title, and it's not a commission, and it's not an office.
Read that Clearfield Doctrine.
Right? So on Tuesday classes, which is 7 p.m., we're going over the Dred Scott case. And I think I'm just going to have to put the time in. I just have to. I don't want to, but I have to. Because y'all need to understand law. And I think that case does it the best. So I'm going to go find my copy. Try to find it. I don't know if I'll find it. I'll try to find it.
Yeah,
right? Because the Dred Scott case was cool. And wait a minute. In The Harder They Fall.
Okay.
What did they say about the Dred Scott case in The Harder They Fall? Tahir, you probably remember.
What?
You can recall it. What they said about the Dred Scott case, they actually said it in the movie.
When they were releasing,
because that was around, no, it's probably way after.
When they broke free Rufus Buck.
But they broke free Rufus Buck. What did he say?
We don't want to Dred Scott free you.
Yeah. Don't want to Dred Scott free you. Right? Like, y'all got to understand law. Y'all got to get that knowledge under your belt. And you got to stop living in fear. And the only reason you live in fear is because you don't know. And the only reasons you don't know is because you won't put that time in. And you want to keep watching videos after videos after videos. There's got to get to a point where you stop watching videos and you start activating some of the information that you learn. That's called doing. That's called activation. That's true knowledge. True knowledge is doing. What's the point of knowing and you don't do? right? And it talks about that in a Circle 7, what a so-called person is who points. It says, do this, point, but they did it. But pointing. A sign is better used. Right? It talks about that. So, I don't know. Do I have any other questions? Do I have any other things, any public announcements I want to talk about? The class that was supposed to be, like I said, on Saturday for Tier 2, first class for trust, was pushed because we had a busy day nationalizing Moors and doing some administrative processes as it relates to administrative functions as it relates to our consular court. Electing people, appointing people for specific activities, right?
The bag with the toys.
The cologne bag.
So,
Black and white.
Oh, okay.
we're probably, I'm going to try to do it today. I'm going to try to do the first class. I don't think it's going to be a live session because I just want to get through the documents. It'll be Tier 1, it'll be Tier 2 trust, and it'll be the first sections. We broke it up into 3 sections. Declaring your trust. You're going to do the first with declaring the trust. The second will be your travel documents, and the third will be your security agreement. So it'll be done, is being separated out into 3 sections, right? So today, if we do the class, like I said, it's not going to be a live class because I don't want any questions. So I might do it at around 3 o'clock, or maybe I'll do it at 3:33. I'll start the class at 3:33 on free conference call. This is your only notification. If you're there, you're there. If you're not, you're not. I don't need you there. I'm just going to record the class anyway and then upload it on the website. But if you want to be a part of the class for the free conference class for the first tier of, the second tier, first section, Declaration of Trust, it'll be today at 3:33 on free conference call platform. If I'm not there, I'm not there. I'm just going to say this. I can't keep giving y'all notifications because things happen. We get emergency calls and then things have to move. And sometimes I can't even let you know they're going to move. That's why I try to put everything on the calendar on the website. I try to put everything there so you'll know. We just had a class on Sunday down in Neptune, New Jersey. And Justice Tahir ran a class. It was a great class. It was a second class because the week before that we had another class. But we have that link in the calendar for you to watch that class as it relates to the Tier 1 in nationality. And, just giving you fundamentals as it relates to that. You said you need to be in a class for real, for real. Yeah, I know. Because I get the calls and I listen to them and I be ready to beat y'all up. Fatima be like, yes, you need patience. I be like, no, I need a hammer in my hand so I can hit somebody. Because he just asked me a crazy question. But I'm not violent. I'm not violent. So, any other questions? Like I said, we're going to have the class today. First section, Tier 2, Declaration of Trust. Today, 333 on free conference call platform. If you have the code, great. If you don't have the code, find somebody. Don't email me. I got enough emails. Don't email me for the code. Email, I don't know, somebody else. Email one of those other justices that's on the website. Like, can I get the code for the free conference call? Don't call me. Don't call Fatima either, because calling Fatima is calling me.
Yeah, I hate
because we be literally sitting next to each other like all the time. People be like, Fatima. Yeah, they call me Tracy. I'm like, who calls me Tracy? That's not my appellation. It's never been my appellation. It's like in the middle. Not in the beginning. It's in the middle, y'all. I be trying. But when I'm being facetious with y'all, it's because I'm trying to train you at the same time. I am not being... I am being facetious. It's the sage in me. I kind of say that. I love you guys. That's why we do this, because we want to see our babies running free, loving life, not being violated, not being victimized, and just being able to be themselves, and us being ourselves and loving ourselves and being honest and open and just doing what we need to do. So just do that, y'all. I love you guys. If you're going to be on that platform, again, free conference call, download the app, please. Don't call me at the time the class starts asking me for technical questions. I am not techie. You know who the technical questions should be asked? He just left the platform. It's supposed to be James. He's on the web. Is he on the James, you better send me a photo so I can put you on the freaking website, because you technical support. I'm tired of getting the technical support questions. You getting on that website today or tomorrow, because you techie. You technical support. Technical support, right? People could ask me all types of questions, and I know what they're going to say. Islam, what you say? Yes, but that's not his official appellation. It's James Kenneth Davis Bay. He is for technical questions. So I'm going to lean on him hard to get his fez so he can get his photo on the website. But I think we're going to put him on the website without his photo because y'all need to be asking him these techie questions instead of calling me. Islam? So see you at 333 2-day free conference call on Declaration of Trust. Love you much. I see a lot of our consuls up there. Spread the word to the people in Neptune. Oh, Yeshua is going to do the class at 333 on free conference call on tier 2, section 1 of the trust. Y'all better get on that class. But again, like I said, if y'all not on the live class, it's going to be uploaded on the website. And y'all not going to be able to ask questions while I'm doing the class until after the class at the end of the recording. Then you can ask your questions. So don't be trying to ask questions while I'm having class unless, you know, I'm going to try. I just want to get it done because I think because it's Declaration of Trust, it might take at least an hour and a half to 2 hours. So I want to make sure I get it all done in that first in that first recording, so I don't have to do a duplicate recording. So let's please be mindful of that with the questions. And if you have questions, write them down and get ready because I love you. I haven't said that. Pax it some more. I think I covered a lot of the things that I wanted to cover. Peace and love. And share this video. I'm not putting it on YouTube because I don't want to put it on YouTube. So share this video.
What a man.
Peace and love.
He ignoring us.